Welcome back, Renegades. Today we have the deck profile for Zekrom EX. The deck profile and bonus match will be timestamped in the description. If you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing, liking, dropping a comment. Let me know what new decks out of Black Bolt or White Flare you're most interested in trying out. Alright, let's get into it. Here's the deck profile for Zekrom EX. This is the new one from Black Bolt. It is a 230 HP basic Pokemon Zekrom EX electric type. For 2 colorless, it has the ability or the attack slash for 50, and then for 2 electric and a colorless voltage burst, it does 130 plus. It does an additional 50 more damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. It also does 30 damage to itself. Has weakness times 2 to fighting. For weakness, no resistance, and it does have a double retreat cost, which is fine because we do run some tools to help with that. We're running 3 copies of this card. This is our main attacker for the deck. Our backup attacker here is Iron Hands. We're running 2 copies. Iron Hands EX, 230 HP electric type Pokemon with the tag Future. So for 2 electric and a colorless, Arm Press for 160. And then if we have the 1 electric, 3 colorless, we can amp you very much for 120. It does do 40 less damage for 1 additional energy. However, when we knock out our opponent's Pokemon, we get to take an additional prize card. So if we take out an EX, then we get 3. It does have a very expensive retreat cost of 4. We don't really have a way to do a free retreat with this, but we have ways to return our energy from our discard pile back to our bench Pokemon, so it's not horrible. But yeah, we're running 2 copies here. Mirrodin EX, 220 HP electric type Pokemon. We like to see this one in the opener with the ability Tandem Unit. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 basic electric Pokemon and put them onto your bench. Shuffle your deck. Has a single retreat cost for 2 electric and a colorless Photon Blaster for 220 damage. That does hit pretty hard. However, during your next turn, this Pokemon cannot attack, but we do have ways to retreat our Pokemon back and forth a little bit. We're running 2 copies here. We're running 3 copies of Little Fish Dynamo. It's a HP 40 health for 1 electric. This is also a new card from Black Bolt. It has our free retreat here. For 1 colorless, we have Hold Still, and it heals 10 damage from this Pokemon. We never really use it as an attacker. It's more for the next stage of its evolution, so we're running 3 copies here, and then we're running 3 copies of its stage 1 electric. So it has a 90 HP, 1 electric, double retreat, and for 2 electric and a colorless has electric ball of 50. Like I said, we don't really use this as an attacker, but the main ability, or the main reason it's in the deck, is for the ability Dynamotor. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic electric energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. So what's cool about this is we do run some non-electric type Pokemon, so as long as they're on the bench, they can get an electric energy to them. Good card, running 3, so it's 3-3 split between Dynamo and electric, just so we have consistency with that energy retrieval. We're running 1 copy of Mew EX. Pretty staple card in any deck, really, in standard for the most part, unless it's like very themed. Has the ability to restart. Once during your turn, you can draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hand. It's another free retreat cost for us. For 3 energy, we can use his attack to choose one of our opponent's active Pokemon's attack and use it as this attack. Just a 3 energy, it doesn't matter what color, and then we have 3 electric on it. We can do whatever the attack says. So 1 copy there. 1 copy of Fezandipity EX. The Fez coming in here with 210 HP. It is a dark type Pokemon. Main reason for this is the ability to flip the script. Once during your turn, if any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn, you can draw 3 cards. So we can't use more than 1 flip the script ability each turn. So for 3 colors, we could do Cruel Arrow. This attack does 100 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So it doesn't matter if they're on the bench or if they're inactive, 100 damage. But we don't get to apply the weakness and resistance for bench Pokemon, but it does have a weakness to fighting. So this is the major weakness of the deck, is fighting type. They're not really relevant, but I think with the rise of Zekrom, they're going to be more relevant. Like Garchomp is definitely gonna see that more in the ladder, I feel, with the rise of Zekrom. So just keep that in mind when you're running this deck. All right, so our last Pokemon for the deck is Squawkabilly EX, HP 160, colorless type Pokemon. Has the ability to Squawk and Seize. Once during your first turn, you may discard your hand and draw 6 cards. You can't use more than 1 Squawk and Seize ability during your turn. I wasn't a big fan of this at first. I've seen a lot of lists with it. I tried it without, I tried with, and the more I try it, the more I like it. Well, the Squawk and Seize is cool, but it does pull double duty here with its single energy attack Motivate for 20 damage. Not a lot of damage, but we get to attach 2 basic energy cards from our discard pile to one of our benched Pokemon. And it has resistance to fighting, so it's kind of like if we are going against a heavy fighting ladder, it can kind of tank some of that damage while we set up our other guys. And a single retreat, I don't know. I kind of like him. The Squawk and Seize ability is cool, but being able to return 2 energy while still dealing damage is pretty good too. So just a single copy here. One single copy of Counter Catcher, pretty staple card for decks. I didn't have this originally, but the more I played, the more times I wish I had a way to interact with my opponent's bench and active Pokemon. So I think a single copy here, it's fine. If we're ahead, we don't need this card anyways, so just a one-of, it just helps when we're behind if we can get it. So we can just switch in one of our opponent's benched Pokemon to the active spot, but we can only do this if we have more prize cards remaining than our opponent. Best card in the deck, my opinion. This card is so cool. It's an item card, Electric Generator. So we could look at the top 5 cards of our deck and attach up to 2 basic energy cards we find there. Basic electric energy we find there to our benched electric Pokemon, and then we like shuffle the other cards back into your deck. This card allows us to accelerate way faster than we should be able to. Like, it's insane. Sometimes you don't get it. Sometimes it whiffs. Other times you put 4 energy on your first turn on something. So it's really good. I like it. So we're running 4 copies here. I wouldn't go any lower than that. This is a reason to play electric decks right here. 4 copies of Nest Ball. Pretty standard card. Just search your deck for a basic Pokemon. No restrictions. Just put it on the bench. Shuffle your deck. This helps us get Fez, get some Mew. It could get a Squawkabilly turn 1 if we needed it. The Miradon EX to be able to fill out our bench. Our A-Spec for the deck, I've been back and forth between Secret Box, just because I like Secret Box. Prime Catcher, switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. If you do, switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. Like I said, back about when we were talking about Counter Catcher, I like the idea of being able to interact with our opponent's active and bench more consistently. So like with the one Counter Catcher, the Prime Catcher, it just allows us to push up something or push away something we don't want to deal with or something we want to take out. So just a single copy Prime Catcher, that is the A-Spec we settled on for the deck. But A-Specs are just kind of preference, you know? You just kind of put whatever one you want really in. We have a single copy of Super Rod. So shuffle up to 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. I just like having a little bit of consistency with the recursion. Most of the time it's Pokemon going back in. Sometimes I'll even play this for just like one Pokemon and just be able to use like Miradon or whatever to get it back right on the bench. With Little Fish, Dynamo, if they get taken out, we have like Electric in hand. Sometimes being able to get it back in there with a reshuffle is good to go too. So 3 copies of Ultra Ball here. The more I play this card in the deck, the more I'm kind of like, why do we need it? Discard 2 cards, so we can discard energy in order to accelerate, similar to Gardevoir. But we get to search our deck for any Pokemon, reveal it, put it in our hand, shuffle our deck. But we have so much consistency in this deck that I don't know. I had 4 in it. I cut it down to 3. I'm at 3 right now. We'll see if it goes down any lower. But it is a nice, consistent card just to help you get the pieces you need when you need it. We're running a single copy of Lavencia as our stadium. Once during each player's turn, that player may put up to 2 basic energy cards from their discard pile into their hand. We don't really want to be able to return energy too much because we can fill the bench pretty quickly. But it does come up where we need to put the energy from the discard back in the hand in order to feed the active Pokemon. The other reason we're running it is because we don't want our opponent to be uncontested with their stadiums. Like the area 0, we want to make sure we can interact, at least have an opportunity in the deck to interact with that. So just having a single stadium, some people may argue to go up to 2, which is fine. You know, maybe I go down 1 Ultra Ball, go up 1 Lavencia, but I have 1 right now, just because most of the time I'd rather attach the energy for free from the discard pile than putting it in my hand, but there is cause for it to be in hand to be able to play to active and being able to interact with your opponent's stadiums. 4 copies of Arbin, search your deck for an item card and a Pokemon tool card, reveal them, put them in your hand, then shuffle your deck. This card, I was kind of back and forth if we needed full copies or not. Being able to grab those electric generators, though essentially Arbin's giving us like 8 copies of electric generator for his draw purposes. And we do have tools that are relevant to help us kind of switch in and out as needed. So for the longest time I was running 1, 2, 3 boss's orders. Like I don't know. I think boss's orders is really important, especially with Iron Hands, to be able to control the amount of life we can take at any given moment. I was running 2 for the longest time. I moved it recently up to 3. So we can just switch in one of our opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. I don't know. I'm at 3 right now. I was at 2. It works. Works good at 2. I just wanted a little bit more for those Iron Hands because there was times where Iron Hand was ready to go and they had EXs on the bench and I had 3 life, but they only had a basic up top, like a single prize Pokemon in the active spot. I'd rather just be able to clean the game up when I need to. So right now we're trying 3 copies. Iono, we are only running 2 copies of this. Surprisingly, this seems to be like the least important supporter in the deck right now because we get to shuffle our hands back and put it at the bottom of our deck, and then we draw cards equal to our life, which is great. Shuffling stuff back in isn't as relevant in this deck as it is in other decks from the hand, so we're only running 2 because we do need, sometimes we just are top decking and we still have like 6 life and we're behind, so getting another fresh 6 is great. And worst case scenario, we can pitch it for something else. So, but just 2 copies. Iono still doing work. 4 copies of Professor's Research. Discard our hand, draw 7 cards. Pretty standard supporter here. It's been around forever. Yeah, 4 copies. I mean, not really much to say about it. It's a staple. Sometimes you just need a refresh 7. So there it is. All right, so into our tools, we're running 3 total tools. We're running 2 copies of Air Balloon. This was a reprint in the new black-white set, which is great. So the retreat cost of the Pokemon this card is attached to is 2 colorless less. So for the majority of the Pokemon, this is going to give it free retreat. Iron Hands is still going to cost 2 energy to retreat on top of this. So it doesn't feel great when Iron Hands is pushed to the front and we don't have energy on it, but it's a lot easier to get 2 energy on it than 4. So Air Balloon's good as a 2 copy, and we also grab it from Arbin. Our last tool of the deck is Bravery Charm. I decided to go with this one because your basic Pokemon, we're running all basic except for electric, so it's just giving it 50 HP. But Bravery Charm, I just like because it gives basic Pokemon 50 HP, no strings attached, no nothing like that. And we are running 13 copies of electric basic energy. So for 13 copies of basic electric energy, I've been between 13 to 14. I just seem to keep trimming down my energy in order to add like the extra boss's order as what we ended up doing the one time. And I don't know, 13. It does seem pretty high for an energy count, but with those electric generators, we want to make sure we're consistently hitting 1 to 2 every time we play that card. I don't think it's an issue having a higher energy count in this deck compared to other decks. But overall, this is the deck profile for Zekrom EX. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, but let's get in some gameplay. So we're going to be going second. So we're going to lead off with one of our little fish, put 1 on the back, and Iron Hands EX. Dynamo. Alright, so we're going to be playing Grimmsnarl here. Grimmsnarl's still pretty relevant in the meta. It was the new hot deck, Crowd of Destined Rival. I don't think it got much support, besides Air Balloon. That's really the only thing Grimmsnarl picked up with the new set was Air Balloon. Runs Monkey Dory, Snoruts. We're going to use Artisan, because why not? Grab another fish. Put an energy on Iron Hands. I want to really kind of want to use that research, but I also need this electric. That's fine. We're going to use the research. We need better cards. Okay. We're going to use Nest Ball. We are going to grab our Miradon EX because Squawkabilly is not really what we want right now. Air Balloon on Miradon. Let's put Fez down. And we just pass turn. We're going to probably put an energy on our Iron Hand next turn. And then Iono maybe. I don't know. Actually, their hand's pretty low, so we might actually just research. We don't want to give them more cards. Yeah, they're hurting right now with hand size, so I don't want to give them more cards. Let's see what we get. All right, so Mew, that research is going to be hurting. Yeah, I got to research. I need the cards, so electric, nice. Then we'll hit electric generator. Got some energy here. Awesome. Iron Hands, ready to go now. Cool. Electric generator again. Found 1 energy this time. We're going to just put it on our Miradon. We're going to Ultra Ball away an Ultra Ball and electric energy. Let's grab another fish. Then we're going to use the fish ability. We're going to get Miradon going. Use it again. Miradon. We're going to retreat our fish to bring up Iron Hand. We are going to 120, so we get 2 prize cards off this with Amp You Very Much. So we get 2 prize cards for hitting that. Alright, so we got our Stadium and an Arbin. Yeah, the Amp You Very Much is really cool. So this Frostlass is going to be an issue because a lot of our bench don't have much HP. Technically, they get another Dark Energy on Monkey Dory. They can take out our Dynamo. A Boss's Order would be great to pull up this Frostlass. because that right now is the immediate threat on the field is the Frostlass. But it doesn't matter because I scooped it up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.